Good afternoon, crafters, and welcome to Meager Valley with my brand new community, The Forsaken. Before we get into it, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to our three protagonists, Mr. Virgil, Miss Elizabeth, and Mr. Houston. Virgil here brings in 15 max health. He's a blood plague survivor and a cancer survivor, so he's bringing in a little bit more than the 15 health. He doesn't have a fifth skill, so we're still trying to figure out what Virgil's going to do with his time. Miss Elizabeth brings in 2 beds. She doesn't sleep in a bed, so technically you could think of it as almost 3 beds. And then she brings in +2 food per day with fishing. And then we have Mr. Houston, who has meal plan. He's one of our 3 meal plans. I do already have the whole community in our community pool. These are just the first 3. This is Mr. Houston, and he has meal plan, and then he eats less food, and he's also completely moldable. So, like I said, we're starting in Meager Valley. This is the very beginning. They've just got in and had the big conversation, and we're heading to a new home. We need to claim a home for the community of survivors. The Clarington house is close and affordable. So we're going to head over there, and then we'll talk about our buffs and all that good stuff. Spoiler warning, I did give them 2 buffs for Green Zone. The first buff is the Builder perk, meaning they currently will have power and water. And the second buff is the Trader perk, meaning they're going to start with, I think it's 4,000 influence to be able to get some community members in without having to work too hard. Some of these people are pre-leveled. Some of them are coming out a little bit more fresh. So you'll see there is some skill building that needs to be done. But I tried to get some levels on these people because we're going from, just like the title says, we're going from green all the way to lethal zone with this community. Finally got a name that everybody could agree on. Management's approved it. She's approved all the characters. So we're going to go ahead and see if it's possible to go from Green Zone all the way to Lethal in Update 33 Heart Attack, I believe it's called. Basically, it just changes the whole game and a lot of the mechanics. So is it still possible to do that challenge? We're going to find out. Go ahead and get in the house and see what Zeds are in here. Houston's screaming about Muertos, so there's got to be at least one Zed in here. Sounds like the boys are taking it out. Alright.
The brainless are gone, so it's time for us to claim this place and move in.
There we go. We got all the brainless out, so we're starting with the Clarington house. Let's go ahead and take a look at our brand new base. So we've taken over an abandoned house, and we're really needing bullets, and we're needing gas. Everything else is questionable, but we're here.
Enjoy your water and power, everyone.
And as you heard the lady say, we do have water and power. So here's the current effects in my community. As you can see, I've already told you guys we do have the 2 boons active for both Trader and Builder. We have temporary resource storage because for an hour we just moved in, so that's going to cover us for a bit. And we have 500% building speed for the first 15 minutes. So anything we want to get done, we probably need to move it or lose it here. I'm probably just going to lose it this first time because I'm not really that interested in all that stuff. We got 3 people. 3 labor with 2 beds available. We're going to go ahead and ask our community to get on repairing the master bedroom. So we'll have more beds available. And that will be it for right now. We're going to have her drop off her food so that we could be a little bit more comfortable and get a little extra money in the bank. And then she got some parts out of the car. We'll leave that too. When people are new to my community, I strip them down to just a close combat weapon in their backpack, so that they're running as light as they're ever going to, unless of course I get a new backpack. There is one chance to get like an ultra light and run a little bit lighter than this, but right now this woman Elizabeth, she's gonna be running at 4 pounds between the backpack and the weapon, meaning she's gonna be using her stamina at, I guess you could call it like peak condition, so she'll be getting the most for bucks. So we got a new mission coming in. It says we need to trade with Castle. That's from the Trader perk. Use a survey point such as a welcome sign billboard to scout for a location with materials, and then scavenge a nearby site for a rucksack of materials, as that's our first mission. We also have an active bounty that if we kill 2 play cards with an assault weapon or assault class weapon, we'll get something from the trader man, which that's awesome. We are just going to start right where we landed with Miss Elizabeth, and we're going to get her kicked off. She is one of the newbies, so she doesn't have all of her perks yet. She's got more wits than I thought, but it's not about wits in this game. It's about how you use your character.
Don't miss me too much.
So I'm going to have her go down to the cell tower and do some scouting, and then we'll pick up the rucksack of materials, and then we'll go home. And when we get home, we will trade with Castle before we complete this mission, because if you guys are unaware, when you complete the mission, the trader that's sent out to your base goes home.
Better watch out for plague zombies.
We definitely want to trade with Castle before Castle decides to go home to his or her community. We're going to go ahead and look out in the distance and get whatever scouting we can done.
Okay.
Try to get the lay of the land for this community.
Spot ever.
How the advancement is going to work for the difficulty increase for this challenge is, I think the decision was made that it's not going to be every time we change a map. Because initially I thought every time we change a map, we'll just go up 1 point. That's going to get really hard, really quickly, really aggressively, and then I'm never going to want to change maps. So instead of doing 1 point every time we make a map change, I think the method to best determine it is just going to be like when I start feeling that the game is stale. Which, if you played this game for a long time, you know exactly kind of what I mean by that, by feeling stale. If you haven't, this is like you're very new to the game, or you've never even played it and you're just coming by to watch me play it. Essentially, at some point, you start getting your survivors into a position where between their skills and their setups, killing zombies really isn't a problem. Taking out plague hearts, not a problem. And the game kind of stalls out and it gets kind of boring. I think at that point, that will be the point where I'm like, alright, we're ready to go to the next difficulty. Because that kind of tells me that, at least in my mind, the community is fully functional. And then we can just stay at the next difficulty until I feel like, alright, they've got a good handle on this difficulty and everything that comes with the difficulty, because I can show you when we get back to base, there's very big differences in this game between each level. I know some games it's like you go from easy to hard and it's changed one thing. The developers for this game really thought their game through. They thought the mechanics through, and they thought a lot of their development through to make this game replayable. So there's huge differences in the difficulty levels, and I'm willing to show you what I mean. We're not going to look at all of it because it's very in-depth, but I can give you a quick tour and just show you, point out some things I'm thinking. So we returned home, and before we even put this bag into our storage, I need to keep $1,200 in the bank because I want to recruit somebody, but outside of that, you can come out here and just see what Castle has for us. Castle is actually selling, some stuff we might be interested in. Honestly, I'll take the stimulants, all of them, and I'll take this hand press, and I'll be back to buy some more rocks off of you, but that's about it, Castle. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in, because you'll see we still need to build a new facility to improve the base before it closes the mission, so I can put that down and just kind of make a step in the right direction real fast. And then we're going to go back to Castle. We're going to at least buy a gas rock off of this castle here.
Sure.
And so we can close the gap a little bit. It's no longer red, it will come in, we'll get some money off of doing it, and she'll get some standing in the community. Life will be good, and then we'll only really need bullets. Do you have any medicine, Castle? Oh, you moved up to my studio. Do you have any medicine?
Sure.
You actually do, we'll take that as well. And then I'm feeling like outside of bullets, we're doing pretty good. I did not see Castle have any bullets, so I'm going to assume she just doesn't. And we're going to call that pretty much done with Miss Castle there. So we could start by building our next facility. But first, I'm going to ask the guys if they would mind picking up the trash while I go look at the difficulty. So here we are. This is the difficulty screen. Currently, there's 3 bars of different categories. The first one's called Action Difficulty, and it says combat is dangerous, but much less deadly than in standard. And this one controls zombies, infestations, and combat. I'm only going to read a couple points. So zombies are easier to kill and deal less damage. I think that kind of sums up the zombies category. Infestations, for that one, I kind of think that it says plague cards only awaken to a great deal of activity, and infestations spread sluggishly. So those are 2 really good points about it in green. And the combat, they're like vehicles are more durable, and injuries and trauma are uncommon and less severe. And if you go down to the next tab, the next thing that green controls would be community difficulty. Fighting and shooting skills improve faster, and all survivors receive a bonus to their morale. The base management includes things like food producing facilities produce extra food, and weapon crafting and breakage. Crafting weapons cost less, and weapons last longer before breaking. Then we have the last category, which is controlled by map difficulty. That does things like resources are very plentiful, weapons are very plentiful. Each map includes 7 play cards and only 7 play cards, and places cost less influence to claim. Now, if we tick it up a little bit, you'll see things get a little crazy. I'm going to increase everything to standard, and then we'll look up to dread, and then I think you'll have a good idea of what I mean by it escalates quickly. So I just read you everything that how it basically goes in green. Now everything that we're going to discuss next is how it goes in standard. We're not going to standard, I'm just want to kind of explain the difference. So in standard, things like this happen. So it says zombies have normal toughness and deal normal amounts of damage. So you lose some debuff of the zombies. And most freaks appear as solitary threats. So now you're going to have solitary threats coming in from freaks and stuff. Infections spread steadily, so you're going to pick up the pace with infestation spread rates. And plague cards now awaken to moderate activity levels. And also, blood plague kills survivors relatively slowly, so you're going to pick up how fast people get killed from the virus. And combat, I would say combat noise is still less likely to drive zombies, but it's there. Now we're going to go down to community. Each survivor consumes 1 unit of food per day, and facility costs and repairs are fair. So you're still not getting crazy with it, but it's definitely not green zone. And the last thing says, each rucksack holds 3 to 6 units. Previously it held 5 to 9. Weapons are still pretty plentiful, but now each map includes 10 play cards. So now management said to show off dread. So we're going to say for dread, zombies are tougher and deal more damage and are more plentiful and more aggressive. Freaks are more plentiful and can join into hordes. All juggernauts will have blood plague, making them even more annoying. Blood plague now kills survivors relatively quickly, and infestations spread more rapidly. And combat takes more stamina and makes more noise. All survivors start with a penalty to their morale. Facilities and outpost costs are increased. Items cost more to craft. Resources are less plentiful. Consumables and crafting ingredients are less plentiful. Fewer vehicles have been found on the map, and when they are, they're found damaged or destroyed. Each map now includes 13 plague cards, and killed plague zombies rarely drop plague samples. So you can see, going from just green to dread, that's only 3 of the levels in the game, actually makes things much more difficult on us, and that is only halfway. We'll talk about the top 2 levels once we get to dread, because management thinks the community won't last. She said at the point that 1 person dies, the whole challenge is over, because the challenge is to keep this community alive and thriving, all 9 members, all the way to lethal. So, with that said and kind of outlined and explained, I think we're ready to begin. We've got 4 extra beds, so we don't have to go anywhere or do anything until we have 7 community members. We could stay at the Clarington House until we get up to 7, and then we're going to have to figure out how to get more people in here. If I can get Miss Elizabeth up, that will give us until 9. We could stay at the first house indefinitely. But that's with getting Miss Elizabeth up and securing her perk. She did go out already, so we're going to grab Mr. Houston and have him drop off the little bit of food. Oop. There's extra food. Now I feel like we're pretty good on food. I'm going to want to get some bullets and some gas and probably another ruck of meds, and then I'm going to feel pretty stabilized. He's got some guns, and he's got a little bit of a build going. I think he's the only one that actually had a build going. So we're going to get him out, and yeah, we really just want to build an addition to our base. So right now, seeing as we don't really have any fifth skills that need to be answered to, I'm just going to go with a generic workshop, because that will allow us to repair weapons and just kind of take care of some management style stuff. And now we do need some more materials, but it's all in the gameplay.
You want to be a good neighbor and come help us out with
Now
it?
our next mission is popping up, A Cure for All Seasons. We need to talk to Ash of the Happy Campers to find out what he wants, what he truly desires. I'm going to get outside the gates and have my guy run directly over to the Happy Campers and find out really what does Ash need.
Shit. Lot of plague zombies around here.
Check that box on the to-do list.
Órale, muerto!
Alright, welcome to the Happy Campers. Let's talk to Ash. He says our supply of plague samples has run low. If you can find more, we have fuel to trade. I'm like, great, I would love some fuel. Like, I think we can handle that, my guy. And he's gonna give me some examples of the best ways to collect plague samples.
Things basically affect their whole environment.
Nice pew pew, some gas, some bolts, nice. That's what I would consider a solid find. Take this guy down, take him out. There's one sample. Just need one more,
Helping out
and
like
we can
this is a
fulfill
good way
this
to make
request.
friends. Estoy terminado.
Hello? So there's some more over here. Of course, I got slapped by the guy that I saw coming. I did try to dodge, but sometimes you're not quite on it as you think you are. We got one extra plague sample, but that's okay. My community can keep anything, quote-unquote, extra. Take him down. Nice. And then we can go. We're gonna go over and talk to him. So we're gonna go over and talk to him. We don't get stuck on poles. And hand over the two samples. We're gonna get $500 on the jerry can for us. So nice, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
And we're gonna just take him home and kind of find out what the next step for our community is. It gets slapped, but it's a super minor infection with a super minor amount of damage. There's really nothing in green. Yeah.
As long as even one of those damn plague perks is left, I won't sleep well at night.
My community is already itching to completely eliminate the blood plague. That would be like my first issue with this game, is honestly like the dialogue lines all game long prompting me to continuously kill play cards does get a little annoying in my opinion at some points. Cause like dude, I know I need to get out there and kill all the play cards on the map. I am very much aware that that is the goal. Eliminating the nasty virus known as the blood plague is the goal of the game. We all know. Or we should all know. If you don't know, there's this horrible virus that's turning zombies red and generates these things called plague hearts, and it's known as the blood plague. And if you become fully infected by it, if you cannot cure yourself, you die and become a zombie. That's the virus of this game. Similar to how, Dying Light has the Huron virus, or The Last of Us 2 has its own virus. It's just one of those zombie game tropes. There's a big bad virus, and it's a problem, and it's annoying. Now we're gonna go grab Mr. Virgil, wake him up, get him out. He was crouched doing something. Good, you were taking inventory or something. Great, fantastic. So we need to find out if there's any bullets nearby here. So let's take a look. When you look at something, if you don't know, it does tell you if it's a site may contain, you've got a chance of getting it. So that's got medicine in it, that's got fuel in it. That's about all we know. Our car that we came here in is over here out of fuel. That's got possible materials. Oh, this site says, this corn farm says it could have food or it could have bullets. So we're going to tag that. I'm going to see, I'm pretty sure we grabbed a gas can. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab both of these gas cans out of here. And I'm going to head out to our car that we abandoned. I'm going to get our car fueled up, and then we're going to go to the site that's saying it could have fuel or food and bullets, and we're going to go raid that site.
There's a group of arms dealers nearby. The prices are high, but the selection is huge. Maybe we should check it out.
Makes sense.
Alright, well, I'm trying to shake the fuel into the car. We got ourselves a new mission. It says we need to talk to Elizabeth about the enclave of weapon stockpilers. Well, first, we're going to get in the car and turn the car on. And I'm going to go get some bullets so that my team doesn't freak out on me. Hopefully this place up on the left actually has a bag. Sometimes it does say, like, may, and does not actually contain. That's why they put the word may there, because it could or could not contain it. Alright. Let's go ahead and get over there real fast. And when we're done with this, we'll smoothly move on to the Warlord's Weapon for All mission. Alright, Virgil, let's just get out.
We're in the clear now. But it's
Take care of the zombie, so we don't have him crawling all over us the whole time. And then there's 8 crates in here, so good searching, Virgil. First one actually had a rucksack of bullets that we desperately need. Nice. Let's see if we can get some food out of here, too.
Hooray.
Got some medicine. Nice. Oh, there's a ruck of food. Okay, both things that have been promised have been delivered. Can we get anything else out of here? Still got 5 boxes to go through, so we may be able to get a little something more. Hello? Hello? Additional crates? Are they all upstairs? That says there's one over here. Let's search it. Another rucksack of bullets.
Might be useful.
He doesn't have a weapon, so we can hang that one on his back. In fact, he doesn't actually have a melee weapon either. We'll get him a melee weapon installed, just so he can carry a little bit more. We'll get this ruck in the trunk. Now I'm assuming the other 2 will be upstairs. Can we get any more rucks out of this place? We've got 3 so far. Can I get like 1 more ruck just to be like over the top awesome? Alright, last box. 1 more ruck? No. Oh well, he got a lot of wits experience out of this building. He's gonna drop on one more wonderful. And Max is fighting. Beautiful. That was a beautiful run. Go ahead and jump in the car and get back to our base. We're not going to want to switch off of Virgil. I actually want to do this mission, but we are going to go ahead and get him kind of cleared down real fast and drop off these rucks so that bullets can be a thing in the past. We don't have to worry about bullets anymore. We've got a few in the bag. Not saying we can go ham with crafting with bullets right now, but certainly some is better than none, and all of that will go towards his standing in the community. Here. You'll see like some influence came in as well. We're getting some money on top of everything else, which is beautiful. I just want to say we're gonna grab the handgun with extra bullets. And I think in this case, do you have a proficiency with fighting? Nope, but you're about to. So he wants endurance or striking. We'll take striking and give him a baseball bat, so he's got a blunt weapon on him. The striking is the blunt weapon specialty. There are 4 weapon specialties in the game. There's striking, swordplay. Those two govern 2 types of weapons. Swordplay is for sharp weapons, whereas striking covers blunt weapons. Then you have close combat, which covers your close combat weapons, and not really needing to have so much of a melee option. Right, oh, I need to talk to Elizabeth real fast, right? I almost completely forgot that's because I was talking. And then the last one, I am blinking on right now, but I will get back to you guys on it. I usually know my specialties, but right now I'm just having a moment. So Elizabeth says there's some arms dealers in the old homestead calling themselves the Unbroken. They've got a huge cast of weapons, most likely stolen. I'm like, I'm on it. They are pretty far from us, but my guys got marathon, so we're gonna go ahead and let rocket socket robots and just go for a 270-meter run. I'm gonna grab a little water real quick, and then we'll get Virgil off to the races. Alright, a little bit of water down the hatch, and then we'll get Virgil off to the races, getting some good speed in.
Good done.
You missed with your old boy. Sorry, Virgil missed. It's alright, we'll make up for it by just auto-smashing the rest of them, and then getting back on route. For this particular mission, I'm going to go ahead and fully confront them, which means they're going to be hostile, possibly. That's why I'm bringing and the extra bullets we have for it. I've got 16 shots in the gun and 7 loose bullets to hopefully let these guys know we're not going to stand for any. We're not standing for any of these games that people want to play. My community members are all tired. They're all exhausted. There's a vehicle over here. Oh, there's a taxi.
I'm letting you in, but don't do anything stupid.
They've already greeted me and let me know not to do anything dumb. They're gonna have to define dumb. I'm gonna grab this bandage out of the trunk. We'll search over here real fast. We got some parts. Got some ammos. And we got more parts. Okay, nothing too heavy, so great. That won't impede combat. We got a bat and a gun that says we're sick of hearing about elevated prices after the apocalypse. Virgil's our only warlord in our whole community, so he's gonna handle things a little bit differently than, say, a sheriff would. For those of you who don't know, there are 4 classes in this game. There's sheriff, warlord, builder, and trader. Each one kind of has a different pillar. Trader believes in making money and having open trade. Builder believes in building up your own base and keeping your people safe. Sheriff believes in building up and being strong and keeping everyone in your community and outside of your community, all the satellite enclaves safe as well. And then Warlord believes with a little bit of violence, you can take out the blood plague and get people out of your way. So we need to talk to Ann's Mello,
That was noisy.
Anselmo. I'm not sure how to say your name, buddy. But he says, if you want weapons, you've got to pay the market price. Normally, I'd say we refuse to be exploited, give us a discount, and we can do business, which means they'll be open to trade. But this time, I'm going to say, we got a better offer. Give us the weapons and keep your life.
I gotta kill you now.
And he's, of course, turning hostile. So how I deal with hostile people is I get out of their house, and I make them come outside. Try to get a headshot there. I missed one shot, but missed a couple of shots, but that's okay. Come on. We gotta tighten up. I did get one of them out. I'm not very good without gunslinging, but we're gonna try anyway. Because now we need to kill the members of the Unbroken. So I'm gonna come through the back door.
That was noisy.
Which if they're paying attention, they would have noticed. Oh, he shot me, okay. Wait for him to come towards me. And just pull out the baseball bat on him. I need to dodge because his friend will try to shoot me across the way. Trying to limit it to like 1v1s here.
Sadly, this comes as no surprise.
Okay, so the last member doesn't want to fight anymore. So I killed 2 of the members. It says I need to talk to the last guy.
No more of that.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my bandage I got so I'm not hurting. He's got his hands in there. He says, let me go. I'll give you a good price for the weapons. My options are, you made your bed, now die in it, or drop what you got and get out of here. I don't think Virgil's completely ruthless. He's like, drop what you got, and you can get out of here. You can absolutely leave.
More weapons and fewer enemies.
He gave us a frag grenade and a weapon that he left right in the door. So, oh, and a nice ultra-light axe. Sweet, buddy. That's actually pretty nice. Let's check this assault weapon out. Got some zoom, single fire. Holds, I think 31. 31 in the clip. Not too bad. How's the weight? 7 pounds. That's a little chonky, but it will do for now. So we're gonna give this gun to Virgil because he did the heavy lifting. He did the footwork to get it done. So he can have this gun as kind of a prize for going over there and basically showing everybody we're not your friends. We can be your friends or we can be your worst nightmare. It's 100% up to you. It's how my community functions is I usually let my communities make their own decisions. By that, I see how I'm being treated and respond accordingly. Virgil did not like having the prices hiked on him, and so he responded with force because he's a warlord, and that is the only way he knows. Like I said, there's 4 distinct kind of schools of thought in the game. And I try to have my characters act in a way that would make sense for their school of thought. So my warlords are always gun-ho for a fight. My sheriffs are always putting themselves at risk to help and or save others. My traders are constantly looking for the best deal, and my builders are always looking for the best find. That's just me, and how I make the game a little bit deeper, a little bit more interesting for myself. Alright, we're gonna let Virgil go kick back and take it easy for a bit, and we'll grab Miss Elizabeth. And she's a little bit different. She's a builder, so she's looking to she's different from Virgil. She wants to make this house a home, basically, is the nice way to put it. So what do we need? We're eating 1 food a day, but Elizabeth is answering that 1 food and providing an extra food. So we don't need to worry about getting a garden or taking a food outpost, and we have absolutely no other pools on our stuff. So that's pretty cool. Do we have, yep, we've got some weapon salvage. We can have somebody go do that to get us some parts. I would say my next move, in my opinion, would be to either get meds or get materials. So I think we're going to get, since she's a builder, she would focus on getting materials. So let's see. It's the closest option. We've got this creepy garage we can go check out and see if we can't grab ourselves a nice bag of mats off of that. And continue to expand our base and feel safe and not threatened. And also get this lady some skills, because she's not quite built yet. There's very few of these original 9 that are not at least somewhat built. Most of them are kind of built. Found a mysterious box. We're going to go ahead and open it, get the parts out, We also made a bunch of zombie friends, which that's great. Got grabbed. He's not taking an injury right now, thank you. Great, because that would be really dumb. That would be a dumb thing to do. In harder difficulties, that would have cost me a lot. That's why we're starting this community in green, so that they can make mistakes, and I can remember to learn from those mistakes before those mistakes cost me everything we worked for. You ask somebody who plays lethal, one major mess up, and you're out your squad. Maybe even everybody. I've heard some people say that they've lost their whole community in like one go. Because of one situation. One really bad mess up. Which we're having several right now because she can't seem to deal with the amount of zombies she's summoned. She really should have been a little more careful grabbing stuff. But I forget that green is now no longer safe. Back when I started playing State of Decay 2 a long time ago, green was not like it is today, crafters. It was a much more calm experience. But then the community got together, and they had a chat with the developers. I think on one of the developer live streams, and they said, hey, like, green is too easy. You basically, you made it for babies, and we don't want it to be like a baby thing, so can you make green harder? And also, all of the levels outside of green, they're too easy as well. So we want you to increase the difficulty everywhere all the time. And the developers listened, and they cranked up the heat, and green has become less of an inviting apocalypse, and it's a constant reminder that it is still an apocalypse.
You're still slowing me down.
We'll take everything that we got, we'll leave one bag, because she just does not have room, and then we'll head back to the house. Yeah. When I started first playing Crafters, this was a completely different game. There were very few times. I think I only lost a few members at the beginning when I was still learning to play. I lost like one member to a hostile enclave, and I think one to a juggernaut. But aside of that, I was doing pretty good. Now I have very few mishaps, at least in this. Okay, we got a mission for the sheriff. Cool.
Our neighbors just stole every scrap of medicine we had. How are we supposed to put up with this?
Go ahead and get those materials in the vaults. Clear her down. We don't really have another gun, so I hope he's gonna be fine going over there. I can give you a crossbow, but that's like all I have, Houston. Oh yeah, I forgot. Houston actually he's got his own weapons, so he's
We get through this.
we don't have any more bullets for him, but he has a few shots left. So my options for this mission are go over to the friendly faces and talk about the theft, talk to Virgil about how he would handle it, and talk to Elizabeth about her concerns. We're going to talk to Virgil first. Virgil says if you want to help these people, don't screw around, go guns blazing. Our warlord is like basically, don't take it easy, just go fight them. And I'm like, I agree, the best defense is always a good offense. And he's like, that's what I wanted to hear. Now we got to go talk to Elizabeth, who doesn't like this plan at all. She says, don't do this. We shouldn't risk our necks for strangers. And this is one of the points where I think the game does a good job of showing complete differences. So she's a build, she's saying we should protect ourselves. And the sheriff is saying people deserve our help. So she's saying, don't do this. We shouldn't risk our necks for strangers. Basically, we don't know them. We shouldn't help them. I'm going to say society can't return to normal unless we help each other, because that's what a sheriff would respond. And she's like, playing nice isn't going to get us anywhere, and he's just going to ignore her because his sheriff belief style kind of overrides her little builder belief style. But that's what I mean. The game does a good job of putting somebody in a role and having them act appropriately. Typically, one of the biggest beefs is between sheriffs and warlords, because they kind of have very different philosophies.
Hey, we need a hand over here.
Warlords are going, guns blazing, weapons swinging, get the job done, and make it safe for everybody. Whereas sheriffs often want to people please. They often want to go in and help other communities and help out and stuff. And I find that in my gameplay, a lot of the times my sheriffs and my warlords will come to pretty big arguments because they don't like it. It's very rare that a builder kind of gets into it, but I can see where she's coming from. She's like, we should build up our stuff, we should worry about us, not other people, and he's like, no, we have to worry about ourselves and other people. So here they are. We need to speak to, says Taib.
I have some bad news.
Taib says, we were attacked and robbed. My friend is hurt. Can you help us get our meds back? I'm like, let's try talking first. No sense getting violent if we don't have to. And he's agreed that that's a good idea. Please don't mind these bodies that my warlords left on the floor. We'll take the ultralight backpack and the combat knife. These bullets don't help us right now, so I'm not gonna bother with that. Apparently I summoned myself a zombie. Where are you, bud? You're trying to really mess up their broken friend. Well, my sheriff is not gonna like that, so we'll get rid of that. I did hear the radio call for additional assistance, but right now I'm first come, first serves. I will get to you if I have a moment. If not, you're just gonna have to wait because people called first. They said we need a sheriff, and so my sheriff went over there to see what they need. A lot of people have asked me previously, how do you decide of the 4 classes who takes power in your community? I have 2 methods for resolving this question. My first method is if the community has a lot of membership in one party, I typically say majority rules and choose somebody from that party. Example would be if I had a bunch of sheriffs in the community. If I had more sheriffs than anybody else, I would say, okay, the sheriff party is heavily influential, and then I would pick somebody from that. The other method I use if I have a smaller group, like right now I have 3 people, would be whoever gets to hero shit first takes command. And for me, that is a dictatorship. So some streamers, I've noticed, it's like some people play the game and whoever gets in power first, they're in power. My people get in power first, and then whenever I need somebody else to be in power, well, that's when we talk about what other groups might be in play and get a little political with it and try to figure out who would try to take power. And there's like backstories and stuff. It's a little crazy, but I like the depth that it provides. So we got to talk to Mr. Catfish. It says confront Catfish and the meat puppets about the group's theft. You must be here for our meds. Forget it, we're keeping them. We're going to try to attempt peace and say if you hand me the meds you took, we can forget this happened. And Catfish says, sounds fine, and everything's okay. And we're going to pick up the medicine, and we're going to leave with our friend, and absolutely nothing bad's going to happen, right, meat puppets?
I'm gonna be sick.
Just kidding, they're going to turn completely hostile, and they're going to shoot the guy that came with me and kill him, because that's fun. Okay, you guys are just beating the living tar out of him, and we're not doing that. You not have gunslinging? No, you have weapons handling. Fantastic. I've got to auto shot you. Okay. Well, you came outside, so you must want to get hit. They're playing little kid games. They have unlimited ammo, by the way, guys, so it's not like you can wait them out. I forgot this dude does not have gunslinging, which really frustrates me. Because gunslinging just makes the game a lot better. Okay, well, I've got 1 down out of 3. I don't have any medicine, so we're gonna let that zombie get up and cause them some issues. I got a headshot, nice. Nice. They hesitated, I didn't. Take out their friend that became a zombie, and now I just have to break the bad news to the other company, basically say, yo, like we went over there, I did what you asked, but fortunately, they decided to take your friend's life. But hey, as kind of a consolation prize, I did go over there and whoop them. So, well, I know you miss your friend. I did 100% go over there and take care of business. Notice there's a vehicle out back. Oh, sweet. A nice repair. Oh, repairman. Well, we could put the stuff in there. If I could find some gas, we'd be good. Is there anywhere with gas around here? Like, do they have gas in the back? Sometimes it gives you gas. Nah, they gave me a repair kit. I could look around real fast and just see if we could get some gas from the local area, and then we could use that car to basically drive, because I really want a bigger vehicle. How about the guy that died inside? You got a gas can on you, buddy? No. this is a survivalist store. The chances of it having gas is gonna be pretty low. Does anything nearby have some gas? Maybe this place. No. Not looking like we're gonna be very successful on the gas front, but we'll definitely want to come back and get this vehicle at some point. It's just I don't have any gas to move it right here right now, so we'll just take the other bag of meds and we will hustle back to the people that are waiting on us. Or I should say the person waiting on us, because now we have to go back and tell Taya, hey, like, oh, we have to go back and tell Sorrow, basically, yeah, we took Taya with us and everything was going great, until they decided that they would give us the meds if they took your friend's life. They also tried to kill me, but, I wasn't about that life, and I fought back, and I lived to tell the tale, and here's your meds back, but sorry about your friend. And hopefully they don't want a place to stay, because honestly, I'm not really looking for any join my community. I've got people on deck that I'm going to bring in. They're just not here yet. I don't really want to bring in any stragglers. I don't really like recruiting in the game, because I have recruited a whole bunch of people to the town of play, and not once have I gotten a person that I kept. Because typically, they like to come in with either bad traits or poor hero values. And I'm just not interested. It made me just frustrated that I spent time on the middle. My sheriff took more of a whooping than I wanted, but unfortunately, he doesn't have gunslinging, which is one of the shooting skills, and that means he doesn't have the ability to actually connect with headshots. So, like, this bush was not a bush. This bush was actually a zombie. That's about how you would get destroyed in real life. I could not see the zombie in the bush, so he got slapped again. Fantastic, buddy. You're just really a push cushion for bullets and for slappies right now, aren't you, buddy? Absolutely ridiculous. All right, let's talk to Sorrel. He says, I don't see Taya with you. What happened? Like, I'm sorry he didn't make it. Found your meds, though.
Later.
Yeah, it looks like Sorrel's just gonna move on by himself. And that tells Houston that you really need, so basically, he's already gotten himself into a position where he thinks he's the boss now. He's the first one to pop off the mail plan. Like I said, when I have a community where everybody is different, so we have one warlord, one builder, and one sheriff, it's just a matter of whoever steps up first. Houston stepped up first, so we're going to say for right now, Houston is going to lead our community. He's going to become the leader of the Forsaken. And he's going to kind of try to direct the flow of the Forsaken into making sure nobody else gets Forsaken along the path. The path is basically just getting rid of the blood plague in this town and building a community that we can all be pretty proud of. A community that does good deeds for others and focuses on outreach above all else. So he's not going to want to do a lot of trading or building up or really being aggressive with the blood plague. He's instead going to prioritize making sure we call out others, which would mean that he is going to get on the radio right away and see if Sandra still wants that medicine. Instead of going home, he's going to head out to speak with the happy campers and see if he can't help them out a little bit. Okay, don't hit me. Stop hitting me. I hit dead zones where I'm swinging and it's hitting nothing. I don't think that's a bug. I think that's part of the combat system where sometimes you swing and you miss, you swing and you miss, and it doesn't matter how high a skill you are. Sometimes it just feels like you swing and you hit nothing but yeah. Well, we're in a plague zone, so I would kind of assume that plague zone, plague zombies, same difference, buddy. Let's just get in here and see if we can't take care of it quickly. Those are both food places. That's a gas place. Okay, there is a clinic a little further up the road. So I'm gonna pass the campers, the happy campers, or whatever they're called, and I'm gonna go see if I can't loot them a rucksack of med first. So when I go there, it's basically just check it off the list instead of having to go there, except that I'll go look for something and then go get what they want. Stop hitting me. Just stop with the hitting. Stop hitting. My guy is not horrible at fighting. Please stop acting like he's like the worst pancake ever. I just said stop, dude, and you hit me one more time. No, we're not doing that. We're not. I don't. Sometimes I swear I'm hitting all the right buttons, and my dude just manages to get himself grabbed or hit repeatedly. It's like he just wants to take damage. Luckily, we found a band-aid in this building, and we're going to use that. We'll take the shotgun press to these parts. Really looking for a rock, though. He's already got a pistol, so he's probably going to leave that behind. But, ooh, the computer's textbook. I don't think I have anybody in my facility right now that knows computers. So, I'll take that.
Nothing.
We'll take this meds. These meds, not this meds.
This is how you get that.
Good, you're making noise. Can this please be the right one? Fantastic. Let's get out of here before we get slapped a bunch after I just healed him up. Let's get across the street and talk to Sandra about giving her this rock. As long as she's nice and polite, we won't have any problems with her. Stop. I don't want to play the touching game. Stop. I don't want to play. I don't want to play grab me by the leg right now. I don't want to play that game.
Or whatever.
So if we could share some meds, if you could share your meds with a neighbor, we'd be in your debt.
Okay.
Like, no need to worry, we're happy to share.
Take care. Seriously.
And then they are providing us supply drop through the radio, and we got $100 for helping. Nice. Okay, we're gonna now go home and let him take a bit of a rest. He cleared all of our missions except for securing the area, which is actually not going to be his priority. He's not going to worry too heavily about securing it because, like I said, in my opinion, the sheriffs, the blood plague is a concern for everybody, but for the sheriffs and their kind of point of view, I feel like they're putting people first, and they're saying we should help the community, we should make sure everybody's building together at the same rate, we should make friends. That makes the traders very happy because they can do trade while the sheriffs build up, but it doesn't make the builders or the warlords happy because they're both kind of like, the builders are kind of like isolationists. They don't really want to share with anybody. And the warlords are kind of like, that's great that you want to share with other people, but we really need to get rid of this plague. The warlords are like #1 plague get ridders. They want to take out the plague right here, right now. No more blood plague. And so they kind of don't like this idea. The only ones that really pair well are the sheriffs in charge, helping everyone, with the traders right on their heels, trading with everybody that they've helped. That's just my opinion, kind of through lore and through everything. Because if you look at it, the leadership quote, it says, "I stand for justice applied fairly and swiftly wherever needed. Those who question my resolve rarely do so twice. Our first priority is to protect the innocent and deliver swift justice to those who would harm them." So basically, making sure everybody, not just in our community, but everybody is kept safe at all times. And with that comes a lot of helping the community and backing them up. And things of that nature. So. We did manage to secure 2 ultralight packs, which is awesome. We're gonna go ahead and go over to Virgil, who we can get downgrade from a small backpack to an ultralight. His 2 options are either a black and orange or red. I think we'll look at the black and orange one. Can I get it in any kind of light? Yeah, I think that will do. That looks pretty good. Doesn't look silly or sassy. So that actually puts him, even with his weapons, carrying a sidearm and a primary, that actually puts him in the traveling light because he's only holding on to 12 pounds. So that actually really helps Virgil out, allowing him to get a lot more done with a lot less. And he's chosen striking, so he's got a bat. We could actually probably get you a lighter weapon eventually. Yeah, right at this moment we don't have a lighter weapon, but eventually down the road, Virgil.
It'll be exciting.
Elizabeth wants to do a personal mission, so Virgil, you're gonna have to hold on. She wants to go find a new ride.
But I'm out of bubble gum.
So we'll show off how to do, I guess, this mission. Anybody who was confused, you go to the marked ride. It'll basically spawn a car in for you, and you just gotta get it. And there's 2 stages. The first one is grind up 5 zombies with a car,
Okay.
and then you have to
This
run
is
over a
as
feral.
excited as you're ever gonna see me.
So you jump in the car, and then you're first ejected. Like I said, grind down 5 zombies. What I like to do, honk the car, horn maybe 3 or 4 times, get some traction, and then just kind of take care of whoever shows up. That usually gets me enough people. That's 3. See 4 wandering towards me. I'm not sure if 5 is. Looks like there's one a little ways up the road that we can just go around this bad boy, and then you're gonna get on my car door, and I'm gonna back up here. And she'll be like, "Oh, that wasn't exciting, no?"
Did somebody see a feral nearby earlier?
And it will give you directions to go find a feral somewhere within like 500 meters of your base will be a feral. Sometimes it's really close. Sometimes, like this is like 300 meters away, so sometimes it's a little bit of a drive. It's alright, because they usually give you a sports car to get where you need to go. In this case, they handed us a Mega Max, which is really nice because the Mega Max is pretty busting and is pretty fast as well. So we want to go ahead, make sure that feral sees us outside. I spam the horn again. Make sure that he knows he's supposed to come out here, because she wants to run him over. Like she doesn't want to hit him. She wants to run over. I managed to get a nice backup on him there. So
Oh, now. Should be back soon.
beautiful. She's like, all right, I'm good to go. She got a bunch of standing in her community, and she got $200 for running over a feral with a car. I'm not really sure how that generates influence, but there you go. In green, that's how much you get. And our goal is also to get a bunch of money in green. So as things get more difficult, as the cost of things goes up, we'll have more money in the bank, so we don't have to worry about it as much. Alright.
You think this country will ever build shit again? Or is it always gonna be just use what you can find?
Alright, so we're going to switch back to Houston, who was going to go out but did not get a chance to. And we're going to take a look at what our next thing is. We could actually use some medicine ourselves instead of giving all of it away. So I believe there was a house just below us. Yeah, there is one that has a possibility of medicine. So we're going to take Virgil over to the house with the possibility of medicine and see if we can't get a ruck and kind of get our meds up a little bit higher, because I'm not liking where they're at. I would like at least another ruck. Do you have stealth? No, not yet. So you need 1 point of searching, and hopefully we can get stealth for you. Stealth just lets you open locked doors quietly and less aggressively. It's a great perk for almost anybody. I would argue everybody in the community could have stealth. It would not be a problem. Because as things get uglier and uglier, being able to enter locations quietly and handle business appropriately, I don't see a downside to that.
I'm all done
We
here.
were able to secure some stuff and a ruck of meds. Beautiful. We're going to go back to our base and drop these puppies off. Get him a little bit of standing in the community. And try to move forward as a group. That's kind of our goal, is just to get them as settled as possible in this first episode. Get them as comfortable as possible in this house. Pretty sure we have a plan to basically be able to stay here as long as we need to. Very comfortably. Now, everything is between 10 and 20. That's for a very beginner house. That is, I'm happy with that. So I don't need to gather any more resources. I'm actually comfortable. And now, Elizabeth is irritated that the warlord went against her, but now she has no more irritation because now we have somebody in charge, and it's no longer a request, in my opinion. He's not really asking. We don't have anything to mod that, but we can actually install either the 22, 9, and 45 millimeters or the shotgun shells. I'm going to install the one that does 3. I'm going to have someone put on that ammo press. And then we actually have a request for our sheriff to go to work. So we're going to grab him and answer the call. We need to get to the home of the happy campers before things get crazy. So that means go get our car, our vehicle. I'm going to grab this new fast vehicle that they just gave us and head over to our friend's home because those were the people that we basically allied with. And it looks like somebody has decided that they're not welcome at their own house.
Plague heart nearby.
Yes, buddy, there is a plague heart in the area.
Never mind, just kill him and grab what you can.
Tell them to grab what you can. So they're basically being robbed right now. I'm trying out.
Zombie over there.
Just ain't made for this shit.
Okay, down. Okay, we got one out. Hopefully they're handling everybody. There's one zombie down. We'll fight this one. Come over here and help with this lady. Okay. She's turning. We're stay on her. Come on. And then just go ahead. Get rid of her. They took care of the third person by themselves. And I just need to speak to Ash. He can say, Sheriff, I can't thank you enough. Please take this food as a token of appreciation. I'm like, there's no charge for justice. Friends help
Those
friends.
will give you any more trouble.
Because there's no point.
Thanks for
I didn't need the food, so I just took the $200
star,
and told him that basically we're good. We're gonna call that solid. And now you'll see that this is updated. It says a group of survivors who we protected from a group of raiders, and they were friendly with us. They're offering $750 to recruit anybody from the community, and they're also offering this supply drop. We can still get them a little bit higher in friendship, so that's always a thing. We'll take this gun, this weapon, these painkillers. We'll check the next person that died over here. Not really interested in your stuff. Thanks for trying. I thought the third one. I don't know where they killed the last person. So I remember getting one over here. I got this one down, and then I went and killed this one. So like I said, I'm not sure. Oh, you got the third one over here. Alright. And the third one doesn't have anything really interesting except for this tire iron that's 0.5 lighter for Virgil, so we'll grab that.
It's clear for now.
And then
It won't be long until the muertos wander back in.
I think we'll just head home for right now. We did what we came here to do. They needed our help, and we fought off the attackers beautifully. Probably took a little bit more damage than was necessary, but it is what it is. But gotta run home. And come on. Got sideswiped by some lovely zombies. And we installed the press. Beautiful. Made a good amount of progress as far as episode 1. So when I get home, we're going to do the wrap-up for episode 1, and we're going to be closing out with what you can expect from this series in the future, and then we'll be good. I will be streaming again tonight. I'll be streaming Genshin Impact, so there is an event, so that means drops should be enabled, and you guys can get some rewards for watching, so please tune in later, get yourself some rewards, bring some friends, bring some popcorn. It's going to be a good time. Alright, that's my little advertisement. With that said, these are the Forsaken. They have Elizabeth and Virgil, led by their leader Houston. They are living in the Clarington house, which they have added a workshop to, cleaned out the trash, gotten all the facilities into working order. They've gotten themselves stockpiled pretty much, and they've made one friend on the map. I can't wait to see what else the Forsaken can do in our journey from green all the way to lethal zone. So join us next time to learn what the Forsaken can do. Will they win against the apocalypse all the way through lethal, or will we end up failing the challenge and losing a community member? Thank you for your time, energy, and effort. This has been KidCraft. Kittycraft out.